strong feelings about ShaDoWn to the side for a bit and just enjoy this series.
Yeah. I certainly will. Spawning over in the bottom right-hand side, as our red Protoss here on Moondance, it is ForJumy.
And in the top left side, we're looking at the main base of the Frenchman. It is often quiet around him between these events, but we have a big event. Let's see in what kind of shape he's currently in. This is ShaDoWn.
Poor ShaDoWn. Sorry, mate. I do like you. It just all came out very wrong. I'm looking at the webcams of both these players. ShaDoWn always kind of has this same approach to StarCraft 2 in my head, that he's a bit wild, definitely loves his slightly crazier plays. Like anytime there's a disruptor sort of all-in strategy, he can definitely take it on his wing. The Stalker all-ins, he's just scary. Like I remember back when I used to play a lot, every time I ran into ShaDoWn, I knew it wasn't going to be a normal game, even though he could play a normal game, which those are the scarier kind of players. And when you talked about these two playing, I sort of remember it as well. I definitely recall ForJumy being in a decent spot, but then just kind of the solidness of ShaDoWn, just I managed to get back into it, and just, yeah, it was a sad one for ForJumy.
Yeah, it was actually a bit of an unfortunate series where they were almost working with the same thing, but then it came down to just a little bit of energy on the Nexus. One had overcharged, the other one didn't. I remember the game on 2K very well, and the other game was kind of similar. Now that I see ShaDoWn, I suddenly think it's like, hey, he was actually one of the reasons that we had these crazy upsets last season, because just a couple months ago, that man 2-0'd Clem in the group stage. I don't know if you remember that, but that was wild, man, with a hidden Nexus as well. So in the big events, he does often show up, and he's able to take down currently almost anyone on any given day, because if you can defeat Clem in Clem's tournament, because that is what this basically is, then you can really make it hard on anyone. But we're going to talk about Moondance, obviously one of the two maps with no ramp leading into the natural. We do have a pocket expand, and we have slightly different openings, as Jumy is going for the 2 adepts, ShaDoWn is going for the double Stalk Arena.
Definitely worth mentioning that ForJumy did get his probe surrounded by probes and killed, and he kind of maniacally laughed on the webcam. And I mean, having that info available for your opponent where the probe stays alive kind of thing, definitely valuable stuff. The probe will be forfeit here though, and ShaDoWn, he's already out on the map with his, what are these, Stalkers, going to be appearing at this front door very soon. But so far, I don't mind this for ForJumy.
No, especially not if ShaDoWn doesn't put a probe in position to keep these adepts at bay. That probe is, I think, barely missing. No, he maybe saw. This could get bad, man, if he doesn't get the wall up, but he does have a probe in position. Okay, a bit excessive, the gateway, but sure. He wants to make damn sure that the adepts do not gun it down. Sometimes 2 adepts can kill a battery, but they're not going to kill a gateway.
I mean, that was... Kevin, I love casting with you, because yeah, that is a little excessive. I guess he was just worried because maybe his worker wasn't close enough, but this is already starting to turn into a bit of a bad situation for ForJumy.
Yep, the 4-Stalker rush is something that a lot of Protoss players have tried. In general, it's not very good unless you can deny that battery from finishing up, and that is exactly what's happening here, since the 2 adepts are not getting anything done on the other side of the map. Now, Jumy will still have plenty of warpins to work with, and maybe with a couple nice force fields, he can turn this into a good thing. Will he drop the force fields? Now, the sentries are just trailing a little bit too far. 1 adept has made it into the main, and it's actually going to get at least 1 probe, I think, maybe even 2. If, the target fire wasn't there. Maybe? Oh, he still gets it.
Two. Yeah, not bad, because I mean, those 2 adepts, they were kind of like revealed. They got 2 probes. They got 1 probe on his side of the map as well. Overall, not bad, but ForJumy, I don't think he has any idea about this, but he does kind of take a nice defensive posture here. Still no shield battery, though.
Yeah, no battery now, but with force fields, he should be fine. You don't want to lose a sentry early on. He's going to be the one to drop force fields first. ShaDoWn was still waiting for extra units to show up. This is just weird, because Jumy is probably like, why are you being aggressive when you have less units than me? Well, that's why, because reinforcements are going to show up. And this is turning into a good old micro battle where so far ShaDoWn is getting the edge, but he did have a few more Stalkers. With extra warpins, I want to say I think we are fine. If I was ShaDoWn right now, by the way, I would warp in adepts. This is a moment where after this set of Stalkers, this is where you go for 2 adepts as well, and you really try to create some chaos.
Yeah, I mean, this is already getting spiraling, and used... Oh, no. Kevin, he used all his Chrono Boost energy on Chrono Boost, and he's not even producing probes here either. This is kind of spiraling out of control.
There is to the 2 adapts that I mentioned. I think that's very smart because the adapts can shade into the back of the Nexus, or they can try to go into the main base, but just, behind the Nexus in the pocket expand will be fine too. ShaDoWn's follow-up is kind of a crazy one as he goes for a Dark Shrine, but Yuumi actually went for Robo here, not for Twilight. So if there's just an Observer on the way after this Immortal, despite all the craziness, despite all the stress and the amount of battling we've had so far, Yuumi should be fine, but he goes second Immortal. Now it can get dicey.
I mean, that would be a horrible way to lose. Oh, they actually finish up these adapts, which is not what you want to be ShaDoWn, because those can buy him a lot of time and distraction. And now that they're cleared up, maybe ForJumy can start to be like, all right, you know what? After this Immortal, we're going to find out what's happening. Oh, he boots up Glaives as well.
Yeah, that is interesting, but we need to start working on an Observer, man. The thing is, though, that ShaDoWn probably feels that, why did he wipe in a DT at home? That's weird. It's almost like he forgot it. He wipes in one Dark Templar at home and then the other one on the other side of the map. But at this point, it's a Prism as well. I mean, these Dark Templars are going to hurt if he just goes for it. Even, they will always hurt because you can just go for probes in the natural. At this point, Yuumi realizes what is happening, and he's going to lose a lot of mining time. Only ends up losing 2 or 1 worker even, so it's not too bad. Smart by ShaDoWn to put this guy in the pocket expand.
It certainly is, and he will still be honing in for these probes, which he does get done. And that...
Very smart.
Where's the other DT? Oh, nice little force field here. Is trapping it in.
Yeah, when losing a sentry, he loses 2 more... yeah. Sometimes every second that you're waiting for an Observer feels like an eternity. And you look at the worker counts now, Ben, and it's starting to look very grim for ForJumy. He's down 15 workers. He is gearing up for a 2-base attack with Glaives, but ShaDoWn is so confident that he's the one running to the other side of the map, and that's obviously a bit unnecessary, but yeah, why not? ShaDoWn probably feels that he has Yuumi right where he wants him.
ShaDoWn's smirking, dude. Like, he was actually smiling just then. I think he feels so damn in control this game, and rightly so. Everything's worked out for him, and again, oh my goodness, this is brutal. Like, what we're watching is brutal.
Very sweet DT movement by ShaDoWn, which sometimes can feel like a bit of a guessing game, but he has kept an eye on the army. He knew that it was moving out. It's been really sweet all around. There is another safety Observer. Yuumi needs to end the game with his army on the other side of the map. Still needs to take care of this Dark Templar, which he's not doing, by the way, so that DT has more potential. Battery Overcharge has been activated. Can we at least get the kill on 1 Immortal? The answer is no. I mean, for ForJumy to turn this into a game, he needs to start killing like 35 workers here.
Yeah, and I mean, he does have Glaive Adepts, but even the Warp Prism goes down, and he is in the main base. He will be able to deal damage, but it's not as if ShaDoWn isn't dealing damage. And I mean, GG, well played by ShaDoWn. That was definitely a feisty game to get things started off between these teammates here. And yeah, ShaDoWn just looked in control.
Yep. Obviously, Yuumi opened up with the adapts. ShaDoWn went for 4 Stalkers. The 4-Stalker rush has really kind of fallen out of fashion. Skillers and I think, were the main flag carriers for that one. But after trying to out-micro the shield battery 300 times and it never working, kind of gave up on it. Skillers gave up on it as well. But yeah, this is one of these rare moments where it can still look very good. 2 adapts, they don't get much done on your side of the map because of the very safe gateway defense. And then you show up before that battery is done. And if you pick up the first battery, then there is potential because Stalkers have more micro potential than the sentries. You obviously need to be wary of the force fields, but your opponent is lacking 2 units that are not accomplishing anything. And it just kind of went from there. At one point, it felt like it's fine for ForJumy, then it wasn't totally fine, then I thought it was going to be fine again. And then unfortunately for ForJumy, he went Immortal, Prism. Did not think about DTs. If he would have had 1 Observer there when the first time the DT tries to walk in, we are casting a completely different game where maybe that attack of Immortals and Glaives is actually very powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And just a rough one, right? Like, losing to DTs always feels bad. And he pulled his probes at a pretty nice time. He was swift with the reaction, but even his gas count, he didn't actually have the gas for the Observer straight away. Then it's like, oh no, this is taking a long time. That initial push as well, where it's like shield battery overcharge, and it's like, no, I've not got chrono boost energy for it. Like, normally you always feel like you have energy. So a lot of things didn't go for ForJumy's way. Even the scouting probe, like, I saw his reaction. He was like, he started doing this kind of thing, and these things do mount up, man.
They really do. But time for Jumi to forget about it and to see if we can get off to a better start in game 2 as we have hopped into Cosmic Sapphire. In the top left side, we're looking at the main base of the man that is representing Berserker Esports. This is our German Protoss, ForJumy. I like this room, by the way, man. It's cute.
Yeah, I mean, he went for the full streamer setup over there, Kev. He's got way better lights than I do. And also playing for Berserker Esports, spawning over in the bottom right, it is ShaDoWn. In fact, he makes me realize I do need a better light setup. It is very nice.
Yeah, Jumi is he's already stepping up his game. And that's kind of cool as well. When I did the interview with him, I had him full screen because I had to record everything. So then I saw the little details. He has a tiny carrier statue as well. And then suddenly on his left, I saw an Xbox Series X. And that really stood out to me because I've never met anybody with an Xbox Series X. And I'm like, Jumi, are we an all-around video gamer? And he's like, oh, I don't use it very often. Just play StarCraft. But he does have one. I thought it was kind of cool.
What is it?
Yeah, that's the latest console of Xbox. You know how you have PlayStation 5? And latest Xbox is Xbox Series X, I think, or S, or both, actually. And he has one of them, and I'd never met anyone that had one.
A true gamer.
Mm-hmm.
A man of the people, a true gamer. ForJumy's got it all, man. Oh, so, I mean, for me, Kev, like the days of proxies and stuff are, I don't want to say over or quite a bit away. ForJumy's kind of smiling to himself again. But this map, what tends to lend itself towards this kind of stuff in PvP?
That is a good question. There is, of course, no ramp leading into the natural, so that is one thing. But I think that Jumi is kind of praying that his opponent is going to go for one of these green things. Wow, somehow it doesn't see it yet, but this has to make the alarm bells go off. Why is your probe here? That's why the probe is there. Jumi is smiling again, and he's like, man, nothing is going my way, and I couldn't be happier about it. But I'm sure that's not how he really feels. But just because this gets scouted doesn't mean that this is an immediate disaster. It's obviously not great for Jumi, but there is always potential with the 3-gate robo.
Yeah, and like ShaDoWn, it's just getting confirmation here because obviously Protoss, you can cancel the building, but seeing that it will be staying here, what are the answers for ShaDoWn here? Because very often in the past it was like, okay, robo gets answered by Stargate, but and all that jazz, but here he's just going for his own robo, but a lot later.
Mm-hmm. Which I guess is fine, but this can actually still turn into one of these games where it becomes very awkward because you could get contained. Stalkers against Stalkers. It seems that at this point, ShaDoWn wants to go for the pile, and he may actually be able to unpower it for a split second, but he's going to pay a costly price. I think both Stalkers will die here, actually. If the Stalker movement of Jumi is perfect, I kind of thought that you want to get a bit closer towards it. He will get one more volley off, and since the Stalker is running in no man's land, Jumi will still probably be able to get both of them, or at least get the probe. And I mean, that Stalker is as close to falling as any Stalker will ever be. This is not all that bad for Jumi. Like, yeah, your robo is unpowered for a split second, but you kill a Stalker, you kill a probe, you get the robo powered again. I don't hate it.
I actually prefer Jumi's trade there, like trading a pylon for. I think he should have kept on chasing that Stalker, but look at ShaDoWn here. This is not what I expected from him, but this is already annoying, forcing that recall home of all those Stalkers. I mean, ShaDoWn is wild, dude. He is wild.
Yep, but 3 Stalkers. Oh no, Big Daddy Immortal's gonna flank. What do? Do we recall? We run past it. He's gonna recall, but he's gonna lose at least one. But I think 2 Stalkers actually. No, the Immortal shot didn't go off there. But yeah, like the thing is, if you counter like this, right, the way that ShaDoWn did it, that's a nice little triple pylon setup there, by the way, on the top of the ramp. You don't see that very often. But now it just gets kind of weird though, right? Because it's one base against one base. The one advantage you have is that if the game goes on forever, your opponent has a robo that's out on the map. But this is not the worst case scenario for Jumi. What he does need to do though is make sure that he keeps tabs on that prism. Because if ShaDoWn sends that prism to the other side of the map and he warps into a depth in your main base, that is really going to hurt.
Certainly is. A little bit of pro battle here. ForJumy does win it. Oh, and that was big. That's big. That slows down the warp prism.
Exactly. That Prism realizing he doesn't want to get revealed. Jumi is going to take a little look at what ShaDoWn has defensively, and he's probably going to be quite happy to see. He's like, okay, 2 sentries and an Immortal, but that still means that I can start chipping away at these gateways. He's going to drop his own Robo Bay. Oh no, he accidentally loaded up his Immortal. That was not on purpose. No, now he couldn't save that one unit. But the most important thing here for Jumi is that he has an answer for the adepts that are going to get wiped into his main base. Because 2 adepts can really do game-ending damage. We are getting a bit sloppy here with the offensive Warp Prism.
I mean, ShaDoWn, luckily for ForJumy, doesn't have the supply just yet to get this going. And actually, how many gateways is he on? He's only on 1 gateway as well, Kev. So that slows down this double. He lost one, didn't he?
Yeah, but he has another gateway in the back.
Sorry. I didn't see it, Kev. I didn't see it.
It's okay. He was supply blocked, and that's why he could only wipe in 1 adept. But the adepts are there now, and this is very annoying for ForJumy. As 1 Stalker, this takes forever to kill one of these adepts. He does have his own adepts in the main base. He's just going to try to gun down, and he gets on top of the Immortal. He kills it. He realizes that he's got the micro potential here with his Warp Prism. ShaDoWn's Prism is on the other side of the map. Pulling probes here is really smart, though, because probes are good against Immortals and Stalkers. I almost felt that ForJumy just decided to fully send it there, realizing that he's going to lose a lot. It's a shame, man. That Prism is really turning into game-ending damage.
It really is. Even a Stargate on the way as well for ShaDoWn. Do you think that's just for like a Void Ray at this point or something like that? Or a Phoenix to deal with that War Prism, I guess. I think that's what he's looking at.
You can do both. I mean, he warped in 3 adepts now, by the way. The man is still warping in adepts on the other side of the map. He's realizing that ForJumy has not warped in enough units at home. ForJumy is going to end up losing each and every single unit. So he's just going to have to go for it here once and for all. Has to end it with this army. Maybe this army gets complemented by 1 Disruptor, and that 1 Disruptor has potential. Like, ForJumy's economy is that he cannot transition, but he does still have a big, powerful army. And with that 1 Disruptor, I mean, the Phoenix could lift it. But there is like a 5% chance here that ForJumy can make magic happen, because there are no batteries at the moment. The moment the batteries show up, man, that Phoenix is going to be annoying, because that Phoenix wants to lift the Disruptor. ForJumy knows that the clock is ticking. He needs to end it. Phoenix will cancel the ball, but the Phoenix doesn't have energy to lift it again. Nice force field, though, by ShaDoWn, and that's all 0. Wow, that was a good force